Jonathan Wener has spent 50 years scouring the art world for the lost paintings of William Raphael, his great-great-grandfather. The 19th century Montreal painter never really got the public recognition Wener thinks he deserves.
I think he was cheated. He was cheated.
William Raphael painted snippets of life in Quebec, like Montreal's Bon Secours Market, a snapshot of life then, of one of Montreal's most iconic spots. His portraits of les habitants are little windows into a lost way of life, treasured by knowledgeable collectors and art historians alike.
He is one of the few artists, one of the few Canadian artists, who has given us a record of what life was like in the late 19th century in Canada. Another thing that's very important about him and very interesting is he's the first known Jewish artist in Canada.
But Raphael fell into obscurity. His work is displayed in major museums across Canada, but the wider public doesn't really know him. Angel says partly because he never had a major museum exhibit, and because of something much darker.
Following the Russian Revolution, there was a wave of anti-Semitism that descended across North America. He himself ended up losing his job.
As Raphael's direct descendant, Wener is determined to bring his work back into the forefront of Canadian art history.
I thought I'd only find 20, 30, and here we are every month, every quarter, we're finding more, and we find them in strange places in Europe and America, Kansas City. I mean, it's quite crazy.
A proud finding? This painting depicting a hay market in Montreal. Before the time when pictures were prevalent, paintings were one of the only ways to document history.
We had an art historian research where this was, where the churches were, and the emplacement of this, and determined that it was Victoria Square. So it's an interesting piece of Montreal history.
Of all the William Raphaels that I've seen available, with the exception of one, that's the finest Raphael that I've seen in the market in my career.
The exception is, of course, that famous Bon Secours Market painting, a piece Klinkoff found in an auction in London, part of the eccentric Peter Winkworth's private collection, for which Wener got into a bidding war for the books.
And I watched the bidding go, 25, 30, 35, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and I finally said, I'm out of this.
The painting fetched more than $300,000, 10 times more than its estimated value.
I faded away and then found out it was the National Gallery who had bought it. I went home and said to my wife, I have good news and bad news. Bad news, I said, I didn't get the painting. Good news is all the rest of the paintings are worth much more.
But an auction was not the strangest spot to find a Raphael. Try a convent.
There was an atelier of William Raphael just beside the altar. In the atelier resided about 100 of his paintings.
For decades, Wener says he called and he called the congregation of the Sœurs de Sainte-Anne, and every year the Mother Superior would refuse to sell him the paintings. But one day, out of the blue, 25 years later, he gets a call saying they wanted to give him half of the paintings for the surprising sum of $1.
I just about fell over.
Now, with a collection of more than 150 paintings, Wener is ready to share Raphael's body of work with Canadians. His ultimate wish is to donate a big part of his precious collection to a museum. In October, Angel's Art Canada Institute will release a book on Raphael's life and work.
I want him to have his own notoriety and the fame that he's entitled to.
In the meantime, Wener remains on the hunt.
There's only one thing missing for me that's frustrating me.
The ones that got away? Sketches of Raphael's anatomical studies he says he came across and left behind 30 years ago.
The price might be a little higher today, but we would love to get our hands on them.
And of course, he knows there's still more paintings out there.
When are you going to stop?
When I'm not breathing.